You know, we're gonna pop in because Mondays, y'all know we go hours.
All right, so today's topic, we're going to talk about low self-esteem and how it has no room in our relationships. So many of us, we live in our heads, but competing with someone's low self-esteem is like work for a full-time job, a full week with no sleep. It's draining. We all have insecurities. We even all have doubts, and we sometimes even think about ending it all. But battling somebody's low self-esteem and somebody's self-worth is not a relationship between two people. It's a relationship with a lack of self-awareness. So today we're going to talk about discussing low self-esteem and how it changes and how it damages our relationships.
Okay. Yes. So first question we want to ask everybody is, how do you, when you think of low self-esteem, when it involves in relationship, what do you think of? And we'll wait for, several people to respond. Plastic, I already promoted you, so, all we need is your video.
I need a few for the video. Yeah. And I missed the intro. I was having technical difficulties or something, so
yeah,
I didn't
hear everything we'll bring you up to speed.
Okay.
Start thinking about what you think of low self-esteem. When it comes to a relationship.
Yeah, first thing that comes to mind is, I guess, insecurity. You know what I mean? Like a person being worried about cheated on or something like that when you never gave them any indication to feel that way. Constantly looking for an unnormal amount of extra validation. Just insecurities come to mind when you think of low self-esteem.
Okay. Anybody else from the attendees that want to weigh in before we get going? Malay, Becca, Jazz. How you doing, Reese? Welcome back.
Hi, Reese. Welcome. But when you think of low self-esteem, you think of self-worth, you think of what you bring to the table or what you don't bring to the table. It's not just, I know Drastic touched on being in a relationship and thinking your partner is always going to cheat on you. That is a form of insecurity that probably stems from low self-esteem, but it's bigger than that. It's how we view ourselves and how we view ourselves and how we connect or disconnect with other people.
Definitely. We try to stay away from the clinical terms and terminologies and things of that nature because we want to break it down. We want to have a eventful discussion. We want to keep everything on the level so everybody can have this discussion. But, when you think, if we had to go clinical, is lack of self-confidence, timid behavior, absent of being absent when it comes to being assertive, when there's indecisive behaviors, rebellion for the sake of rebelling, lack of generosity, just focusing on material goals,
lack of motivation.
Lack of motivation, apologizing too much. We can go in those terms, but we like to simplify things, make things a little bit more conducive so people can truly have that discussion. So when I look at low self-esteem, I'm gonna keep it simple. It's living in your insecurities and asking others to live there with you, and not believing you deserve, you can give the best of yourself or you deserve the best of yourself. I mean, you deserve the best from others. Excuse me. So okay, she finally She can help us out on this enunciation.
Oh, she's on.
Yeah, she's on. So, when it comes to low self-esteem, I mean, we want to just hit home that what's going on? Welcome.
Hi.
We've seen you on Facebook forever. About time. Glad you're comfortable enough to, show up, show your face. I mean, what do you want to chime in? You on mute?
You on mute.
So you gotta unmute it. Yeah. So do you want to give us their low self-esteem. Like, what do you think of when you think of low self-esteem?
I was trying to figure out how to get on here, so keep going. I'll come back to you guys.
Okay, we're gonna let Mahogany. She's on.
What you guys were saying at the beginning.
Yeah, I understand. I understand how it is. Sometimes it feels like it's forever. Welcome, Mahogany. Did you hear the topic? You on mute. You're on mute.
I read the topic before
Okay.
coming in, so it's low self-esteem, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
So when you think of low self-esteem involving a relationship, what do you think of?
Well, there's many areas of self-esteem lack, but usually in regard to relationships, it often turns trust issues, and usually underlining issues from past situations. People don't trust themselves to make great choices about their partnerships.
Definitely.
Is of self-esteem lack.
That's who's doubling?
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
Yeah, somebody's doubling. That's you, Jerry?
No. Nah, I got Facebook on mute. I'm good.
Somebody has their Facebook on, I guess, and Zoom on at the same time. But
Let me make sure they're mine.
I think it was Mahogany.
yeah. Okay, so I said let's give a simple definition for everybody who wasn't on at the time. I was just saying is when you live in your insecurities and ask others to live there with you.
I like that.
Yes, when you believe that you don't need to give your best and you don't believe you deserve others' best. So we're gonna just simplify. We're gonna start it from there, because a lot of people go into relationships believing they're entitled to a lot of things. You know what I mean? Right off, and the entitlement comes from lack of self-worth. Like, you got to know you're going in to put in and you're going in there to receive, and you got to keep that balance. You got to make sure that you're receiving what you're putting in. So when you go into relationships and you're asking people to just quote unquote accept you, I mean, they should be accepting your strengths. They should be living through your strengths. They shouldn't be battling you when it comes to your strengths. But how are they accepting your weaknesses? I mean, I hope everybody they're going in relationships and healthy relationships, trying to get through the weaknesses and trying to strengthen each other's weaknesses. And whoever's weak, they're following that person where they're weak. I would hope that would be the case. I mean, what do y'all think of that?
I want to know, can you give an example? Because you said it's living in your insecurities and wanting other people to live there. Am I quoting you properly?
That's
Absolutely.
And if so,
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, can you give an example of that?
Well,
Okay.
it's good.
Oh, you want to give the example? I can give it. But
I know.
I'll
You
give
go
your
ahead.
space. Do your thing.
So it's basically if you are, so say I'm insecure about, okay, I can't think of anything, right? So say I'm insecure about my weight, right? And because I'm insecure about my weight, I'm insecure about the way that I look. Now I want everyone to cater to the fact that I'm insecure about the way that I look. So in turn, every picture that's taken, I have to control everything. Every time we go somewhere, I have to look a certain way. Every time I'm not feeling my best, everyone has to pay for it because I'm not really participating because I'm not feeling my best. So basically, if I'm not comfortable with my weight, instead of working toward getting to a weight that I'm comfortable with, instead I'm bringing everyone down with me, and I want everyone to cater to me because I'm not in that place. That's when you're dragging people into your insecurity.
Okay.
Is that a good enough example?
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a good example. Yeah.
Joe's here.
I got another one.
Okay, go ahead.
A different one. So let's say you're in a relationship, and within this relationship,
What type of relationship?
your new romantic relationship.
Romantic, okay.
So let's say you're in a romantic relationship and you have trust issues.
Okay.
And your mate is interacting with a past mate. But now although you know that this person has been around and they have been in contact and it's supposedly nothing is going on, but now because you feel away, they have to now get rid of these relationships that they've already had that they say is platonic, is nothing going on, but because you don't feel comfortable now, these things have to be taken out of their lives. Would y'all agree that goes under the same umbrella?
Absolutely, that goes in the same umbrella. But it could just be something that you meet a person, and you tell them initially that you are friends with people that you dated in the past, and they are not okay with that. You know what I mean? So it doesn't even have to be that you guys agreed and then they disagreed and they realize they can't handle it. It could just be so simple as I meet a guy and I'm telling him that I'm friends with my exes, and he's just like, oh, word? Like, I'm not dealing with that. And then I, in turn, said, you know what, he's uncomfortable. I really like this guy. So you know what, Aziz, I'm going to push you to the side because I want this relationship to work. You know what I mean? That's me not making the situation any better. He should not be insecure. He should trust me, right? Because why are you with me if you don't trust me? And I shouldn't be not even rewarding that behavior, but I shouldn't be entertaining that type of behavior. Sometimes we become a part of the problem too.
Absolutely.
People. So I think that's like also something that we need to be mindful of.
This seems like a gray area to me that Jerry and Mahogany are talking about. Because I'm just, I don't know, proactively thinking about how problems could arise. Like, I understand if you get into a relationship with somebody new, it's possibly going to be, a temporary fling or something like that. But like, if this is a person that you intend on spending the rest of your life with, shouldn't there be certain boundaries? Like when it comes to dealing with people that you've been intimate with, or you've had, like deep feelings of love for, or you know what I'm saying, things of that nature.
No, well, it depends.
Boundaries, of course. There's
but here's
boundaries.
But here's the thing, though. I think it depends on what both people agree with, right? So if I date, so let's put it out there. Like me and Aziz dated in high school, right? And we're really close friends, right? And I wouldn't have a man come into my life tell me that they are not comfortable with. Well, they can tell me that they're not comfortable with my relationship with Aziz. Like we just won't be dating, and the same for him. Because although you want to consider or you want to take into consideration the feelings of someone else, that they're not really coming from they're not coming from their strongest place. It's just because of the fact that we had a relationship. The thing is, if I wanted to continue to date Aziz, have sex with Aziz, hump Aziz, or whatever the case may be, we'll be doing it. I don't need to be in a relationship with someone else and now decide, you know what, Aziz, I've been checking for you, let's get it together. You know what I mean? So it goes beyond the boundaries. It goes on what you believe in. And if you are with a person who has continued to foster healthy relationships with the people in their past, and it's strictly platonic, then what is the issue? If you truly trust them, then what is the issue?
All right, so you and Aziz's situation is kind of unique, and that's not always the case. Like you and him have been friends since y'all was children. Y'all tried dating, 20 plus years ago? You know what I'm saying? So, like that's a little different situation from you broke up with your ex 6 months ago, you know what I'm saying, and y'all dated for 5 years, and now you got a new relationship, and you still want to be in contact with your ex. You know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe you guys are better off as friends. That happens. You could have dated somebody for 5 years and realized that, it was 5 years too long. We should have probably broke up year one, and we're better off as friends because if you are really connecting the right way, you guys should have been friends first, right? So if you guys are friends and the relationship wasn't toxic and you realize that, you know what, we're better off as friends, then why wouldn't you carry that on? Why wouldn't that be something that you believe in and your next partner would understand that?
Part two, my question to you, Drastic, is, so you're going to give up a good friend, a potential good friend for somebody that you just met? Or are you looking for a long-term relationship where you're going to change the parameters of a friendship?
Yeah, I have changed the parameters. Like I got a real good friend now that, you know what I'm saying? Like I've known her before. She had a baby father. Like I know her now. She's married now. You know what I'm saying? So like that's still my friend. You know what I'm saying? She need me. Her husband need me. Like I'm gonna look out for either one of them. But the parameters of that friendship is gonna change. Like we're not gonna talk on the phone as often, or I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? We're not gonna be hanging out or stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna respect, you know what I'm saying, the relationship that you're in. Even though it's just a platonic friendship, I still recognize that, you know what I'm saying, the parameters got to change, you know what I'm saying, because you're in a different situation now.
So
is
you
it the
saying when
parameters
you
or the
look at,
priorities?
yeah, you're looking at parameters as a different thing than we're looking at.
It's the priorities
Meaning,
change.
like when you have kids, obviously you're not going to hang out as much.
Yeah.
When you have a job or you work in longer hours, you're not going to hang out as much. That's different than a person telling you the initial. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mahogany. They're saying to stop spending time with that person.
Yeah.
Don't
They don't want that
around
relationship to be anymore.
Yeah. Don't. So what I'm saying is you didn't get rid of the friendship. You understood that there was somebody that moved in that was a high priority. I think if anybody comes into your life, there's priority. And if it's a romantic partner, yeah, they are gonna take a higher place in your life than maybe a friend. But that higher place is like it can vary based on the situation, right? So we all know that my friend is sick, then my partner kind of got to understand that I'm gonna be putting more work into my friend to help them recover, right? And my partner is gonna be supportive and on board with that. But at the same time, we got to understand that the relationships we are in is one mechanism. It's one organism, I mean. And one goes down, the other one lifts it up. So, like we said, when we have relationships, our friends are a part of that relationships. That relationship. The family members we're close to are a part of that relationships. They are advisors. They're the people that's gonna give us clear understanding. They're the people that's gonna give our partners an understanding of who we were younger or who we were before we met them, things of that nature. So we work on one accord. So everybody should have a clear understanding of who's in your life and what place they serve in your life, what part of they have in your life. You get what I'm saying? So go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and jealousy is it's a normal emotion. It's how you deal with that jealousy that's the issue. Now, if I'm dating you, Drastic, and you friends with homegirl, and you are prioritizing her over me, and we're in a committed relationship, I may have an issue with that. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to battle the friend, but I do understand the importance of the friendship, and I do understand why she's in your life. But there should be a clear understanding of who you're prioritizing. And I think back to we had those conversations before in our Less Self relationships where we talk about priorities. You know what I mean? Like when a person establishes what their priorities are, it lessens the drama around them because you know where you stand. It's when a person is dating someone and they don't quite know where they stand and they have all these extra people around, that's when things get a little messy. So I think if you establish things like, this is my wife, you know, I have a home and kids and I have a job and I have to make sure that things are situated there before I can go out and call you or hang out with you or catch that movie with you. You know what I mean? But that has to be said, not assumed. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. They don't want to have that conversation.
See, now it's making sense. I think what it all boils down to is making sure that your partner is the priority, even if there's other supporting cast. You know what I mean? Like, this is y'all movie. Y'all two is the star. Everybody else, it needs to be known that your partner is the priority in your life and you're the priority in your partner's life.
Yeah, but everybody else needs to be established that through that priority, the friends that y'all bring in are also a part of that person's life.
And that's what I was going to say too. Yeah.
So you have to understand, you have to make them a priority.
Yeah.
You can't use your power to suppress those friendships.
No, you can't press nobody. But that's the ideal situation, that you want your partner to make you the priority without you having to ask for that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, and yeah, those friendships are important as well, but they shouldn't be more important than your partner. You know what I'm saying? And if they are more important than your partner, you know, how much are you really invested into that partnership?
But that's not.
But they're important. But they're important in a different way, though. And I think that's where it needs to be clear. You know what I mean? Like because your friends are bringing something different to your life than your partner would. So it has to be clear. It's not like the battle of who's
most important.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like we're not trying to get voted off the island or who's going to be your best friend. But at the same time, like, everyone needs to know what role they play in your life, and they should be comfortable in that role. You know what I mean? And that's why the conversation is really important to have.
Like, so Jasmine was saying, like, she's basically saying where honesty isn't even an option because we all matter. All that matters is the emotions. That's exactly what we're talking about when it comes to insecurities. It's like, are you dealing with somebody based on sensibility? Or are you dealing with somebody to manage their emotions? And I think that's what's the difference. You shouldn't join any relationships to manage emotions. It's all about sensibility. It's all about your practice. It's all about the things y'all signed on for. When you join a relationship, you're coming together to honor something that's between y'all. It has nothing to do with one person or the other person. It has something to do with y'all. And when you start thinking collectively, it becomes a whole different event. But when you now navigate through somebody's insecurities, they control the whole relationship. You get what I'm saying? So whether they're piggybacking off what Jerry was saying, you know, the priorities are kind of in the same bracket, because this person is a person that's with you, lives with you, gonna build a life with you, that your friends can't possibly build with you, right?
Yeah.
So we all could agree on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But actually, they also have to understand that all of y'all principles are aligned, or why would y'all have friends outside of the principles that's aligned?
Yeah.
So at what point would you be putting your friend above your partner when all your friends share that same principle that your partner is going to be your right hand? You get what I'm saying? So I think when you're around a bunch of different type of people and they're not connecting with the same principles, yeah, you run into that issue, because now you're trying to prioritize friends and you're trying to prioritize partner, and they don't like each other and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But if you are introducing somebody into your life, let's say drastic, you have a friend, but you really like this girl. This girl doesn't align with all your friendships. What made you like this girl? Where you know you're gonna have to choose your friendships or her.
She was sexy.
At some point, yeah, she had a fatty.
That's what you gotta ask yourself. Like, yeah, your friends at that point, they represent what your priorities are. They represent what your principles are. So why would you ever introduce somebody into your life, no matter how much you feel in them, that doesn't align with what you already have in your life?
Yeah, I don't know. Me personally, I'm somewhat of a loner, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm off in my own zone. Like, I ain't really, you know what I'm saying, linking with people on a deep personal level on a regular basis, but I've always had an eclectic, you know what I'm saying, type of people that I interact with. Like I told y'all last week, I got a gay homegirl, you know what I'm saying, and then I got, you know what I'm saying, like in high school, I hung out with the nerds, I hung out with the thugs, I hung out with the chess club, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm interacting with people from all walks of life, you know, church people, like, you know, all walks of life. So
we're talking about your friends, your close knit.
We're talking about personal relationships.
Yeah, personal relationships. Yeah.
Networking, man.
Thanks, Mahogany.
I deal with everybody. I don't connect with everybody.
Yeah, you're talking about like we gotta keep it clear here. We're talking about personal relationships. People you hold dear, people that can actually impact your life, actually affect you on a day-to-day basis. Once we start talking about outside of that, it becomes more of a cultural issue. It becomes more of a, you know, societal issue. And that's a whole, those rules are completely different, because tolerance comes into that. You tolerate people because they live in your same space. You can't be tolerating people that are your friends. You know what I'm saying? So when we're talking about insecurities, we can talk about, like what you said. Right. You have to respect. That's right. You got to respect that this person is not going to be as open and as in your life as much as you used to be. You don't have to respect anything. Like the insecurity tells you don't deserve the best of that person. So think about it. Why is that connected to respect? You distancing yourself from your friends to be closer to somebody else. Why is that connected with respect? So that would be my question to everybody. Joe, Darrell, welcome, Darrell.
Hey, Darrell.
Hey, guys.
Juice is on Facebook.
What up?
Shamir, sorry.
How you doing? Molly.
What's good, family? What's good, family? What's good? What's good?
What's going on?
Yo, what up, Darrell? I'm on my way back to the crib, man, so I'm just trying to join in because I ain't want to miss too much.
Definitely.
Okay, cool.
But the question I asked is, why would you think it's respect to actually distance yourself from a friend because a spouse is uncomfortable with that friendship?
I guess you gotta find it. Yeah, I don't know. First thing that comes to mind is that Alicia Keys song. You know what I'm saying? I used to be a Alicia Keys fanatic. You know what I mean? So she got that song. I think I'm jealous of your girlfriend, although she's just a girl that is your friend. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, like if you're in a situation like that, and your wife or your woman, whatever, is very important to you, yeah, you're not catering to all of her emotions, especially if they're irrational. But you are in a way catering to your woman's emotions. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want your wife to be happy. You know what I'm saying? To the best of your ability. You know, unless it's violating principles, unless it's violating standards. You know what I'm saying? It's violating morals. You do what you can to make your spouse happy. You know what I'm saying? So if a situation is making her uncomfortable, and in that song she expressed why, she's like, yo, she got a part of your heart that I can't relate to. You know what I'm saying? So she's a little insecure about that situation. So wouldn't the right thing to do be to try to get everybody in one accord, try to bring a level of understanding? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, she got a part of my heart that you don't got, but you know what I'm saying? It's a different part of my heart, and that doesn't jeopardize what we have.
Now you're talking though. You just been explaining it, but the initial thing, the key word you said is insecurity. So I said living in someone's insecurity, and the person's asking you to live in her insecurity.
Yep.
I'm not crossing those boundaries. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to y'all. I'm not crossing those boundaries.
You're living in the insecurity. That's how most people go about doing it.
I learned a long time ago, happy wife, happy life. And I stick by those words. You know, I do what I have to do to be happy around me and my atmosphere and who I'm with. I'm not over anybody's grounds. You know, she becomes number one when I said I do 20 years ago.
Definitely.
You know, and that's just how I feel.
Okay, so what about happy husband?
Are you content?
Yeah, exactly.
What about happy husband?
That's exactly what I was ready to say. 100%. 100%. Like,
hell yeah. Happy when you on the treadmill always worrying about her insecurity, what she's gonna be insecure about. So she could say, I don't like you going to this one store. She's unhappy.
Yep.
Then what happens?
Like, your happiness matters too. A man's happiness matters too. That's a two-way street.
That's where compromise comes in.
Compromise.
Right?
Compromise and communication.
Definitely.
You have to have a line of communication always. So you have to talk about your feelings with not arguing back and forth. So if she's saying that she's insecure about this stuff, she's supposed to be able to come to you, and you should be able to listen to her level head.
Definitely.
Or him or her, you know, vice versa.
If she's giving you a adequate reason why, that's not based on insecurity. That's a whole different thing. You know, this woman's trying to sabotage us. This woman is doing X, Y, and Z. She's giving you a roadmap to how this person's trying to come in between y'all. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
She's securing your relationship. She's making sure your relationship survives. So she's like, well, you used to date her. I just don't want you around her because it makes me feel some way. That's not good enough.
And feelings waver. Like, I wake up today feeling amazing. I wake up tomorrow feeling like shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's
I don't believe that.
You know what I mean? Like, it changes.
I don't believe what?
That I feel like shit the next day. The point is that I can feel one way today and another way the next day. And if you continue to cater to something that's inconsistent, then then you're always gonna work for me, and I'm never gonna care. I'm never gonna really consider your feelings and what you're going through if you're always catering to me.
And that's selfish.
Yeah, exactly.
Very selfish.
But it's perpetuated. It's okay in the world we live in. It's okay. Like, there's literally relationship specialists, there's literally psychologists that will sit there and tell you you're entitled to feel what you feel. You are not entitled because you have to express it. You have to sit here and see if it's valid with your partner or with your friends. You're in this with a team. So you to just feel what you feel and think that that's all there is and that's the stopping point.
Because somebody mute.
Yeah, somebody who is that?
I don't know.
Oh, that might have been direct. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's very important to have these discussions. It's very important be vocal. It's very important not to let somebody off the hook because you want to tolerate them. Like the whole point is, yeah, we supposed to be happy, but we built a faith. What is the faith we built? Insecurities are a crippler. You know what I mean? It's what people that want to destroy relationships, they look at, they attach themselves to, and they play on them. You get what I'm saying? Go ahead.
How do you deal with them? Do you just dismiss the insecurities, or do you address them head on and try to
talk them about it?
Address them head on.
Talk about it.
Yeah, there's no dismissing ever. There's always a discussion.
Well, the same way that you set boundaries with a person outside a relationship, you have to set those boundaries within your relationship. So you have to let whoever you're dealing with know that I have friends that are going to be a part of my life, and this is what and this is what you're signing up for. It's really important for them to understand that before you guys commit, so that when you are committed, there shouldn't be any. I'm not saying that there isn't going to ever be jealousy, but there shouldn't be this heightened state of insecurity because you guys had the conversation already. And if they signed up for if they are committed to you, then they signed up for everything that you said that you were, which was having female friends and whatever you had going on, right? So you deal with it head on, and you let the person know that if you're leading with your weakness, then I'm not gonna entertain that. Like, I'm not gonna support
don't
that.
Expect,
you know what I mean?
Don't expect me to show up in that space.
Yeah, don't expect me to co-sign that behavior. I could talk you through it. We could have a conversation. We could work through some things together, but I'm not gonna now feed into it because I'm just gonna make you a worse person. You know, and the whole point of us uniting is so that we could be the best version of each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? So if you consider,
go ahead.
No, if
she's trying to get it, she's trying to talk.
Go ahead.
No, if you cater to my insecurities, then I'm not leading from the best place, and you're fostering that. Go ahead.
How you say your first name? That's what you're supposed to tell us.
Yeah.
It's Amali.
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 I know we're not.
I mean, Joe.
Amali.
Amali.
Mm-hmm.
So
go ahead, Amali.
I was also saying, when you're getting into a relationship with someone and you letting them know that you have friends that you have from the opposite sex for umpteen years, it's okay to also introduce them. That
of course.
So
they should know. Yeah, they definitely should know.
That's a given.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
The friendship from your new relationship, because that kind of hinder a little jealousy and a little self-esteem too also. Because if you're telling me that you have this friend that you've been knowing for umpteen years and you guys never had sex and nothing like that, but I can't meet the person, that don't sound right to me. That means you need something.
I mean,
I agree. Transparency, full transparency.
Yeah.
A whole different demon.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like even outside of the whole having friends, same sex or opposite sex friends, outside of your relationship, even besides that, like my conversation when meeting women at this point is just like, just don't expect me to play a part in your emotional blackmail. Like, I'm not interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that seems like emotional blackmail, I'm not present for it.
Mm-hmm.
So if it don't make sense, I ain't with it. If that makes you feel like I'm insensitive, that's your shit. That ain't mine.
Yeah, because remember, it's self-esteem, not your esteem. It's theirs.
Absolutely.
Why they should burden it? Why they should put that burden on you? It's not fair.
Yeah, it's funny. Like we're talking about, romantic relationships, right? But we see insecurities all around us, right? Like the disgruntled employee, right? Yeah. Or we see, the disgruntled employee that nobody really wants to say much to because all they're gonna do is have a fit, not do their job, and just and be unprofessional. So the bosses don't want to deal with that, so they tiptoe around them. They give them what they want. They don't really deal with them, and when you look back on it, they're not really helping them be a better employee. They just don't want to deal. And with our personal relationships, we shouldn't, when you have a wife who's insecure about something that she shouldn't be insecure about, or you have a friend who's insecure about something that they're insecure about, and you cater to that, that means that you don't want to deal either. That's essentially, you're doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah, both of y'all tapped out.
Yeah, pretty much. Because you don't want to take on that battle that you said, happy life, happy wife, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, that was it.
Don't make it that's what you say.
And but basically, that's the easy way to say, "No, I don't feel like dealing with this shit, so let's just make her happy." It's like giving a kid a pacifier. When your kids walk around with a pacifier at 7, it's a problem, right? So, it's essentially the same. It's the same thing.
I know some kids like that now. I know some kids like that.
It don't make it healthy.
It don't make it. It's not.
And that's the important part. I want y'all to really understand when you come to Let's Talk Relationships with the Love Snobs. We're talking about healthy relationships, not normal relationships.
Yeah.
Not average.
Like normal. Yeah. Everybody always says, well, it's normal to cry, and it's normal to do this, and it's normal to do that, and it's normal to do this. We're talking about what's healthy to do. That means you're striving for something greater than just what's normal to do. You get what I'm saying? So what's the norm is, drinking twice a week. You know what I mean? Like not working out. Like not a lot of people work out. Like that's a small percentage, even though you see people always on the road running. In the gym, it's still a small percentage. So you gotta understand, to stay fit and to stay healthy, you gotta show up every day with a standard of excellence. And if you're not willing to do that, then why are we even talking relationships? Because you're just cruising by life. You get what I'm saying? So when you think of insecurities, you got to think those are insecurities is what takes the gas out your car. You get what I'm saying? So like if you're trying to travel with somebody, how you traveling with them without the gas? You get what I'm saying? So you lead through your strengths, not your weaknesses. And when you ask people to cater to your weaknesses, then it becomes a problem. Like we shoot ourselves in the foot. We say, you shouldn't say things a certain way. You shouldn't say things like that. Next second, I love a person who's honest.
Yeah.
You basically telling them not to tell you certain things, man. And you don't even know it because it's okay in society for certain people to do to not say certain things. You know what I mean? So you got to think about the things you say out your mouth and what messages you relay, because a lot of it stems from insecurities. We have insecurities, all of us.
Yeah.
But if we allow them to lead the room or make sure that everybody else is catering to those insecurities, they don't improve. We're doing
but you don't think it's possible to, Aziz, you don't think it's possible to sugarcoat your medicine and still give the full dose?
Well, when you talk about sugarcoating,
yeah,
that means that you're thinking about it, and are you truly calculating in that relationship?
Yes, not.
Drastic, you feel comfortable talking to me?
Yeah, I feel comfortable talking to anybody because.
Okay, do you feel like you gotta sugarcoat your message?
I do it naturally. You know what I'm saying? I'm
talking about when you're talking to me and you're very comfortable. I don't know not a person that feels they gotta sugarcoat their message to anybody that has confidence.
Nah, you don't gotta sugarcoat it, but at the same breath, you know what I mean? Like sometimes messages get misconstrued. So, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna deviate at all from what I'm trying to say. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But I will take a person's feelings into consideration and try not to unintentionally offend them in my message,
But the thing is, when you're telling the truth, you may offend. Like that's it comes with the territory.
Honesty is
pain. So yeah, so the thing is that you're gonna always be tiptoeing and catering to people because you're afraid to hurt their feelings. But if you're truly being honest with them, then you're gonna hurt their feelings because there's gonna be something that you tell them that they're not prepared to hear, or it may make them feel a way, or it's unavoidable. But when you go into every situation thinking, let me think about what I need to say so I don't hurt this person's feelings, you come across as calculated and not genuine.
Yeah, me personally though, like I feel like the truth the truth is the highest level of importance. You know what I'm saying? So if a person's feelings has to get hurt, so be it. The truth is still gonna come forward. But I also believe that in most situations it's possible to have balance. You know what I'm saying? That you can tell the truth without offending.
But
Well,
think about this
obvious
drastic.
times does
Think about this drastic. We're talking about best practice. So you're living in the gray. So like if we all go with 10% of everything, everything has a time and a place, right? 10%. But we're talking about personal relationships. So we're going to be raw with the people we care about, right? We don't have to sugarcoat it because they know our intentions. They know who we are. They know where we're coming from. We hope that we're in relationships where we're comfortable enough to just say what we have to say, however we're going to say it. Because in the same breath, now you're talking to me, and I'm like, okay, I deal with relationships. So I sit there and watch people constantly do what you're saying they're doing. And people constantly have issues with the way that these people deliver messages because they seem calculated.
Yeah.
I have an
Seem like they're
example.
putting on kitty gloves.
I have an example from my personal experience. I have an aunt that's almost 2 years older than me, right? And we don't really get along because she says that, oh, the way I speak makes the way I speak or my deliverance of a message is rude. I'm like, how is it rude when I'm telling you the truth? You want me to lie to you, or you want me to um, feed you with a silver spoon? Like, come on now. If I'm telling you the truth, you should be glad that I'm telling you the truth and not sugarcoating anything to make you feel like, oh, it's okay, don't worry. And then you're going to go do the same thing again. So why not just tell you like it is from the beginning? That's why we don't talk now, because I had to tell her something that she didn't like, and we don't talk because she said I'm rude. I was like, well, if I'm rude, then I don't need to be talking to you. If you're gonna cry and whine all the time,
My voice. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta understand, drastic. You always come from. I just want you to be clear on the message you deliver, because you're saying, based on the fact that I'm responsible for other people's emotions, it shows a level of disparity between the relationships. There's no equality. If I gotta always think about your feelings when I'm delivering the message, how do I think we're equals?
That's a fact.
Yeah, it's like dealing with a toddler. We talk to children differently than we talk to another adult. Why? Because we're not equals.
Definitely. We don't feel equal. Anybody you feel equal with, you can't deliver your message. Part two is you're saying that you are a person that's a loner. So you're being a politician. I mean, I can see why, because you're not cool with anybody. You got to think about when you're giving the message, you got to already be a person that's big on personal relationships and being close to people and building a structure that's unbreakable, versus being a person that's like, yo, I rock with you here, I rock with you here, I rock
I
with
could
you
do
here, but I
without
really don't build with nobody.
do without you.
That's not the relationships we're trying to build. When we talking to people, we're talking to them about building a structure that's unbreakable. Meaning I can be direct with you and not another person can come in and just break that relationship up, because we deal with straight truth. We deal with straight honesty. Honesty, and let me be clear here, I'm not gonna give the wrong message. Honesty doesn't always equal truth.
Mm-hmm.
It is based on how you feel, right?
But it starts a discussion.
So,
I said, but it starts a discussion.
definitely. So I'm saying I might honestly believe that you're no good.
Yeah, and that's opinion. That might not necessarily be facts.
Yeah, that's honesty. That's me saying, yo, I just don't think you're a good dude. But then you saying how you figure, like break down how. Now we're gaining the truth through having this discussion, through having this dialogue. We're having these discussions. But how do you build strong relationships? How do you build a strong structure if you can't, get past the insecurities? You can't challenge people to get stronger through their insecurities as opposed to catering to the insecurity.
The thing is, you should be around people that are going to be honest with you about whatever comes to mind, so that when you are interacting with other people, you already know who you are and what you bring to the table and who you are in every room, because that is what gives you the confidence that we are looking for. No, I'm not the smartest person. I may not be the most intelligent. I know Aziz and I, we are in business together, and because he's so great and gifted at what he does, I compare myself to him all the time. And sometimes that leaves me in a really insecure place because I'm like, you know, you could break things down so clearly and you use all these, like I take you up the block around the corner and to the store, and he, you know, he's able to break things down so eloquently, and he's very straight to the point and very simple. And sometimes, you know, I sit here and I'm like, damn, like I could have said that, but I decided to take the scenic route, right? But I do know that, you know, when I'm not leading from an insecure place, I do know that the reason why we're partners is because we balance each other out. And the reason why we're partners is because I'm Jerry and I bring something different to the table. And I think that if we didn't have those conversations, if I wasn't self-aware, then we wouldn't even be where we are today. So it's really about being self-aware, knowing who you are in every room. Am I going to bring what Aziz brings to the table? Absolutely not. But I bring something different, and it's just as good. And that's why we make that's why we make the partnership that we have. That's why we're partners. So I think that if everyone took the time to realize who they are in every room, what they bring to the table, and comfortable in that space, then it will be less insecurity. People would not be moving from such an insecure place. They will own it and work on the things that they want to work on. Like if I want to be able to speak as good as Aziz or break things down as him, then I need to practice, right? If that's my goal. So I think if everyone understood where they were and who they were and why they were the way that they were, then it will be less insecurities. But I think people run from the self-awareness of it. People run from the honesty of it, like who you are in every room. I think that's really important.
Yeah, I think what you just said kind of like adds to my point a little bit. Like I think Mahogany and Aziz can both relate to each other because y'all got similar personalities. Straightforward, you know what I'm saying? Not taking the scenic route, getting to the point. You know what I mean? But like when you look at different aspects of life, whether it comes to combat, whether it comes to the Asian philosophy of yin and yang, whether it comes to playing chess, you know what I'm saying? There's direct and there's indirect, but both methods can be used as tools to get to the same point. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a difference of personalities and approach, you know what I'm saying? But as long as the honest truth is being presented, I don't see why that's a problem. That might conflict with your natural inclination for how you deliver stuff, you know what I'm saying, personally, but I don't think it has to apply to everybody.
Well, honesty shouldn't apply to everybody? What you mean?
No, honesty and truth should always apply, you know what I mean? But as far as being blunt, direct to the point, not taking anything, yeah, the delivery, you know what I'm saying? That's a matter of personality and preference, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but so the difference between you and I, Drastic, is that you're going to constantly, like, I'm going to live my life, say what I need to say, and put it all out there. You're gauging everyone because you don't want to offend. So basically, you're tiptoeing around everyone that you meet. I'm not doing that. So
you're speaking of an extreme. I'm not talking about that extreme. I'm talking about balance.
It's not about balance. It's about a belief. It's what you believe. So it's really about what you believe and how you believe that when someone's told, like, you don't need to be brutally honest. I believe that you need to be honest, and if it comes out brutal, then it comes out brutal. There's a difference.
I don't believe in being brutally honest because it has an intent to harm. But what I do believe is, with Drastic saying, yeah, there is different forms of ways to get your point across. There are different people. There are different rules and regulations, right? Yeah. But what I'm saying is, when you enter a relationship, you got to see what's functional. So many people do things. So now you're talking about what people do. It's 27 ways people do things. You said in your last situation that you used to worry about what people felt, used to try to deliver your message, used to hold back somewhat. And that's what you did, right? But then
when I was a teenager,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it would come out in other ways, right?
Yeah.
Just because you did it doesn't mean it's functional. So you're always giving a message of, like, I'm saying that it's more functional to be.
Was it functional, but was it healthy?
To be more direct. I'm not saying you have to be. I'm not saying it's a personality thing. I'm saying when you're dealing with having the experience and being in teaching relationships, it is better to be direct so nothing gets misconstrued. You can tackle the point at hand. Because eventually, now you're saying what you're saying.
And direct and blunt is not the same.
Yeah. Like, blunt is like a sharp object. Where you're talking about whether a person's going to get hurt. I'm saying I care about the person enough to open my mouth and actually have a discussion with them. You get what I'm saying? So who would you rather? Somebody who's just cleaning up your messes without telling you making the mess, or somebody who's constantly telling you making these mess?
Yeah, I guess I can give you an example of what I mean by the balance. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a rapper pull up in my inbox like, yo, I like your music. I've been, you know what I'm saying? I've been liking your stuff since way back when. I want you to check out my music and tell me what you think about mine. You know what I'm saying? And I honestly felt that there was some areas that could use some improvement. So I spoke on those areas, and I spoke on the areas that I also felt like he had it right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And my intent was to help him build on the skills that he already has and be the best version of himself that he can be. You know what I'm saying? I think I could be wrong because I didn't get a response right away. It took a while before I got any type of, you know what I'm saying, communication, but I think he might have took some offense to it. But I was just being honest.
He took offense to it.
I wasn't trying to offend, wasn't trying to hurt, wasn't trying to diss him or nothing like that. You know what I mean? But I was honest, you know what I mean? And I feel like the balance came because I didn't just highlight the things that I didn't like. I also gave attention to the things about it that I did like. You know?
Well, that's a full on review. If somebody's asking you what you like about their music, they're not just asking the negative. They want to know overall. So that was your duty overall, was for you to give a full review on his music, good, bad, and indifferent. So that's not balance. That's just what you should have did. That was what you should have did when somebody asked you to give them a review.
But at the same time, Dressic, you realize that you have, like, you can clean up whatever you say, however you say it, depending on the ears that are receiving it and how they believe themselves is what's going to determine what they hear. So you can pretty it up all you want. You ever told someone they're not your type?
Oh yeah, they think they're ugly.
Immediately they go to the extreme. They're ugly. They don't assume that it's just like, you know, they're not your type. They're just ugly is what they assume, and they'll respond in that fashion. And you and I mean, possibly that could have been the case.
Yeah, I had a woman wanting to fight me one time behind that.
But that's my point. So you like, I understand where you're coming from, because I am very much, although I am very direct, I am also very caring about, you know, people's feelings. But I understand that within that space, when you're being truthful, when you're being honest, you have no handle on how people receive your honesty. Whether you're being nice about it or not, they're going to receive exactly what they see themselves to be. So if they're insecure, their insecurity is going to make it whatever it is that they feel it is.
So, Mahogany, with that being said, real quick, I wanted to jump in real quick because Drastic, like, that's a real scenario. So this guy asked you about his music. So I got two questions for you. Was he trash? And if he was trash, how would you tell him he was trash? So we're talking about being blunt and being direct.
Great question.
I'm sorry, I missed the question. Can you repeat the question one more time?
So you said you had a friend of yours that wanted to, you know what I'm saying, you to hear some music, you know what I mean? And
it wasn't a friend.
I don't think it was a friend.
That's why I'm saying the example would be a bad example, because if I don't know the person, I don't care about them enough possibly
to care about their feelings
as I would a friend. So what I'm trying, before you ask the question, I just wanted to clear that up.
Okay. All right, so my
you have to be clear here. The situations we're always addressing are things that are negatives in the relationship. So that's why it comes off as, okay, this is a negative situation. But honesty is the negatives and the positive.
Yeah.
So you got to look at it from the other standpoint. If I'm honest with you about something that's good, are you going to take what I said to you, passing to somebody who obviously thinks about what they say? Are you going to respect what I'm saying to you a lot faster?
Who you asking?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, me personally, I'm gonna respect the person that's gonna tell me the truth. That's gonna be honest with me.
But what I'm saying, if I was honest with you on the negative side, and now I tell you something positive, I tell you the hard things, and I tell you the things that's gonna be sugar to your ears, are you not gonna trust that has some value to it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if that applies to everybody, but me personally, like, I'm willing to take criticism. I'm willing to take, you know what I'm saying? I'm willing to be humble. I'm willing to do whatever it takes for me to be the best version of me that I can be. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I got to hear stuff that I'm not going to appreciate. Like, everybody else might not be willing to receive stuff like that.
But
You
do
know
you
what I'm
see
saying? I'm
what
the
you
type
just
of
said?
But those who are not willing are not willing to have healthy relationships.
That's what we're saying. That's what you're missing. You're missing the fact that you are willing to take it in. And when I said there's a disparity, is because you believe other people are not as good as you are. But you do it in a way where nobody catches it because you're always showing them that, yeah, I have compassion. But compassion takes a person being in distress. You can't help a leader with compassion.
What do you mean by that?
Compassion is a disparity. Like when you look it up, it deals with sympathy. It deals with somebody being in distress.
Okay.
So when you show compassion, it's a tool. It's something you show when you actually lifting somebody off the ground. It's not something you show when the person's high up in the clouds. So how do you approach a leader in that regard? You see what I'm saying? Like when you're talking, you're like criticizing the leader, but helping the guy off the ground. But you're criticizing the leader, but you're helping somebody off the ground. You're like, you know, the way you give your message, but they already leading millions of people. So it's only the people that are going to lead is the people that's willing to receive and move in that direction. They can't control who's going to move in that direction with them. You got to understand that. So when we're talking about personal relationships, these are people that we're building this connection with.
To hell with everybody else.
This is what I'm saying. We're talking about
they get in where they fit in.
We're not talking about social stuff where people are inboxing you that you really don't know, and you trying to just give them advice on a separate situation which has no relevance to you, just music. Versus somebody that's in your life day to day. That should have a great understanding of who you are. That should be clear on what your direction is.
Yeah,
clear on your intention.
Your intention, yeah.
Be clear on everything that you stand for. The belief system is already in place. So I want you to think about it when you come and we sit here and talk. We're not talking about the things that will help the actual society tolerate other people's differences. We're talking about people who are working through their differences to move as one unit. Those are two different things. You work with coworkers all the time that y'all don't have to have the same religion. They don't have to have the same faith. They don't have to have the same things in common. You have a job in common. That's it. So the commonality brings y'all to work so y'all can move as one unit. You get what I'm saying? But when it comes now to the personal relationships, we're not just going to say, oh, we're just different. That doesn't apply. That makes the relationship unhealthy. It applies in society. That doesn't necessarily make the relationship unhealthy. Because y'all are different. Y'all go in a whole different space. Y'all didn't decide to be personal. Versus now when you're in a personal relationship, you're working through your differences. There's no way you should be different on most things.
That's a fact.
Preferences, yeah. I like blue, you like red. Yeah, those is preferences. They don't affect the other person no one way or another. But when it comes to core values, you have to believe in the same direction or y'all on separate ends once those beliefs come up.
That's why most relationships these days don't last.
Well, my question,
my
question for the guys like Joe and the people like you said that happy wife, happy life, happy wife, happy wife. Is that a space that is that a space that you are comfortable in? Like, would it?
I am delightfully comfortable with that. Delightfully comfortable with that. It makes my day. It makes my day. It really does. We can talk about things. We can sit down and rap. We enjoy the children. We enjoy the grandchildren. And, when people ask me, that's the expression that I use. And I believe that to the heart. It took me a long time to get here. It took me a long time to get here. And I'm here. And I'm happy to say that. I'm here.
Content.
Joe, but can it possibly be a happy relationship, a happy life?
It's happy. Happy relationship. Happy life.
But what makes you happy? But what makes you happy?
The fact that I can walk into an atmosphere with her, and with my family, and I smile. And it makes me feel good. It makes me feel comfortable when I come home, and I feel rough. And she just rises me to the top. The kids rise me to the top. They push me. They want to see me happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through some stuff right now, some health stuff right now that is gonna keep me out for a little while, guys. I wasn't supposed to be in the room right now, but I forced myself.
Thank you, Joe. We appreciate that.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
That, man. We sorry to hear that.
Yeah, sorry to hear.
But it's just it's overall. Overall, it's just life is good for me. Life is good for me. This was made for me yesterday because I'm not going to be around for a minute, just a minute, for my kids. And it says exactly what I'm saying. Happy wife, happy life. You know what I'm saying? And, these are the type of things that I walk into every day in my life for the past 20 years. And it makes me feel good.
But you just explained how they brighten your life by doing things for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
how do I brighten their life now? Is that what you want to ask?
No, I'm saying that you already said you brighten their life by a happy life, happy wife.
Yeah,
and that goes
on
her.
That goes to the kids too. That goes to the kids.
I mean, the kids, that's a whole different relationship. We're talking about the foundation. The foundation of
the foundation is the wife, and the bigger foundation is the kids, because they're what make us after they were born. I watch my wife, and she's all about the kids, all about us, but she's about the kids. You want to make sure that the kids are right. You want to make sure the grandchildren are right. I seen Amali raise her daughter. It was about her daughter.
That's right, my kids.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter if I threw a left hook at her or a right hook at a friend. It was about her daughter.
That's right.
So.
But what happens when your kids get older?
That's what I'm dealing with right now.
I got old kids. My daughter sitting right here in front of me. She came to visit me with my two grandchildren. How old are you, Mom? 36. She's 36 years old. You're 39? You that old? She's 39. Okay.
You don't even know her age, man.
I got six girls and a boy. My youngest girl, and the boy's the last one. My youngest girl, she's 19. She's doing her thing. Everybody else, they're in the nursing field. And my oldest daughter, she's a lawyer. My son, he's 16. He's a Joe Knucklehead. He's just gonna be just like me, just like his dad. So the kids are older. So I'm enjoying myself with them. My wife definitely enjoys, herself with them. And I love the interaction. I just sit here and I watch them, and it tears me up sometimes. Yeah, I cry. I'm not ashamed to say it.
It's okay. It's okay, Joe.
Can I cry? Oh, but
you can shed a tear.
I think that's definitely a testament of man.
It's a safe place.
It makes me feel good. Now I want to hear, before we knock off tonight, I want to hear Drastic sing that song that he was talking about in the beginning of our conversation with Alicia Keys. I don't know what he's talking about.
I forgot the name of it, but she said, "I think I'm jealous of your girlfriend."
That's the name of it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
That's the name of it. And I cut Darrell off. I didn't want to.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
I want to get back to Darrell because.
Yeah, he was asking a question that I missed because I turned the engine on and lost volume, lost the audio for a minute.
Yeah, that's.
Well, his mouth is full.
That's what it's all about.
Pardon me, I mean my fish and broccoli. I apologize. Nah, I mean, because y'all was talking about being blunt and then being direct. So I have a way that I would say something, you know what I'm saying? So my question was for Drastic. So when this guy hits you up about like listening to his music, you know what I'm saying? And you said you had to give him a few pointers. So my question was to you, if he was trash, right? Because everybody can't rap, we all know that. How would you explain to him, you know what I'm saying, brother, your music is not up to par? Like how did you have that conversation?
I think I would have it the same way I had it though. You know what I mean? Like if there was nothing good to highlight, like if you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna lie and say I like this if I don't like that. You know what I mean? So there will be only negative things to say, but I'm not gonna, like, me personally, like, I don't know, maybe y'all, especially Mahogany and Aziz, maybe y'all just like, yo, you suck. like me, I'm not gonna do that to me. I'm not gonna do that to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because for one, art is objective. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're presenting music, you're presenting art. You know what I'm saying? So what's not for my taste is for somebody else's taste. Like I got a little brother that's like 10 years old and he loves NBA Youngboy. Like I'm not a fan of NBA Youngboy. You know what I'm saying? But you know, to each his own. So I haven't come across the person that's completely trash that asked me to check out their music. You know what I'm saying? But I probably wouldn't just, you know what I'm saying, take a dump on their stuff.
But what do we say about indecision? They're asking you your opinion. So you're going over what another person may like. They're asking you your opinion.
Yeah, if they're asking me, do you like this?
That's what they say.
Yeah,
you're going over whether your cousin might like it, your brother might like it, this other person might like it, this other person. I'm not gonna be like, yo, your joint is trash.
Yeah,
You gotta understand, a person is asking you a question. They have to.
Yeah, I'd have to say I don't like it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. So if I don't like it, I'm gonna have to say I don't like it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna like go out my. You act like I'm going on my way to be like, yo, that's trash. No, I'm not going on my way to hurt people's feelings.
No, and the thing about it is like with like Aziz and Mahogany, like they're just progressive, and it's just progressive. Like they're gonna say, yo, like I can see Aziz like, yo, you may need to do a little bit more work in the studio, you know, whatever. Like, but it's still not gonna be like I don't know why you wasted my time, you know, having me listen to this crap. Like, you know, like it's you can still be, like you said, brutally honest, which Aziz corrected is brutal has an intent. You can still be honest and still get your point across without dragging somebody, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you should be able to have a level of standard.
Yeah, like integrity within yourself.
You have to have a level of standard. And standard,
yeah, I agree with that.
Standard is like what we said. One of the clinical terms for low self-esteem, which we should be talking about, is the clinical terms of low self-esteem is indecision.
Yeah.
It's always worrying about what the next person is talking about. They're asking your views, your opinions. Be direct and be focused on what you believe.
Yeah.
Like have the discussion from a real place. You can't dictate every time. You're playing chess. That's the thing I'm saying. So we're sitting there we're in a relationship and we're chilling. You're playing chess, and I can identify that. Like, why are we playing chess? We're in a relationship. Mm-hmm. So I'm always looking at the fact that you calculating how much you're gonna offend me, or how much you don't think a person notices that after a while?
Yeah.
You don't think some people would appreciate that you don't want to hurt them?
No.
No.
Not when you're in a personal relationship.
Well, no, not when the person is healthy and want a healthy relationship. No. If you're interacting with an unhealthy person, then yes, they're gonna appreciate you sugarcoating shit and not being totally honest and letting them get away with stuff and letting them lead from a weak place. Like, yeah. But if you're dealing with a healthy person that wants a healthy connection with you, absolutely not.
Yo, why do we identify sugarcoating as being not totally honest? You know what I'm saying?
No. That's what it is. When you sugarcoat something,
sugarcoating is not being honest. It's preaching.
It's intent.
When we use sugarcoating as an example, the first thing that comes to mind is medicine, right? So like if you take a Tylenol pill, it's sugar-coated. You know what I'm saying? Did you not get the Tylenol?
Let me respond to that, please. So drastic sugarcoating is the same thing as being nice. Mm-hmm. And do you understand the definition of nice? It's to be it's to be agreeable.
Yep.
So to be agreeable isn't to be honest. You're just trying to keep a certain level of comfort in the room.
Yes, it's pleasant, agreeable, and satisfactory. That's what they
mean. And long story short, they're not like, in a long story short, when someone sugarcoats something, they're not helping you be the best version of yourself.
Absolutely.
At all. You know what I'm saying?
That applies to people
who's not. I don't want no one in my circle who's going to sugarcoat and just tell me what I want to hear.
It's disrespectful.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't want that.
It's
If something's
disrespectful.
wrong with me, tell me what's wrong with me. Don't try to say something that I want to hear. Let me know what the deal is so I can get better. You know what I'm saying?
If somebody's telling you just what you want to hear, they're lying to you.
He's saying he's still telling them. He's still telling them. See, I'm not even saying sugarcoating. So I got what you're saying, Drastic. You're still telling the truth. But what I'm saying is you're taking a vehicle to do it. You're going in a circle to do it. So what I'm saying is, when are you comfortable enough just saying what you mean, meaning what you say? That'd be my question to you, where it's not a long-term thought out idea. It's like they ask you a question, what first came to mind, you respond, because y'all y'all close.
Can I say something real quick? Because what I'm realizing from this conversation, Drastic, is that you identify direct as somewhat rude or disrespectful.
Yeah.
And I'm not rude or disrespectful. Mm-hmm. So being direct just means I get right to it. Mm-hmm. That's all direct means. But I always consider who I'm speaking to. See, the thing is, when we start, the only people, and Aziz brought this to my attention early on, is like the only people I always feel like I have to really sit down and think hard about how I'm going to say something to them is people that I know aren't my equals. People that I don't think are on my level.
Yeah. People
who are on my level, I say what I say because I know that I don't have to have disclaimers with them. They get it. People who don't get it are people who you believe are not yet there, which means you are sugarcoating and trying to figure out how to relate to this person who is not yet on your level. So you got to think about that part, because for you to feel the need to do that says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let me ask you this though. In the example that I use with the rapper that, and it's the Mahogany, the rapper that asked me to give an opinion about his music from what I told y'all, you know what I mean? I told him what I liked. I told him what I didn't like. Was that not direct? Was that not honest?
No, that was fine. That was fine. That's fine. That's how I would have responded. I would have given him his positives so that it lightened the blow, because I don't want to end his career. You know what I mean? But I do want to make sure that he gets the understanding that he has ways to go.
Yo,
and still want to give him the truth.
Did y'all not hear what was just said? I'm going to give him the positives because I don't want to end his career. So we ultimately feel we have the power to steal dreams.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell if you tell me something direct and I'm about this dream, I'm taking it and my career's over.
Real.
Name a person you know that's driven towards a direction that hears something blunt and changes their whole direction.
That's real. Yep.
This whole discussion is about low self-esteem.
Yeah.
I'm going to inbox somebody, they're going to come back at me real raw. I'm going to be like, that's appreciated.
Yeah.
Because I got some work to do. I agree. I agree, but I also I feel like
I mean, you understand reality. The reality is most people look up to a person and he's obviously reaching out to you because he respects your music, he respects your platform, he respects where you at. So he's already showing that there's a level of respect and there's a level of you are in a power position. So with that power position, you feel like I don't want to hurt this person with having that power. I get it. But if there's no positives, like if you've seen positives and you're being honest, then you've seen positives.
I was being honest.
So I'm saying if you're being completely honest, there's no problem with that. You've seen positives. You've seen all that. But the thing we're always battling with is you're saying, but y'all might say it like this.
Yeah.
Which is showing that there's a difference. And we're saying the way you went about doing it may be the way I go about doing it. Because it's, as long as it's honest. But in this scenario, you're like, yo, if the woman don't want you to deal with your ex-man, I mean, you might have to ex your ex-man to show that you care about the woman. That's a sickness.
Yeah, that is a sickness, yeah.
You're going to X somebody out your life that's been supportive, that's been through thick and thin with you, that's actually a big part of your life, just because a new woman comes in and you got to show her that you hold it as you have it as a top priority. You know what shows that y'all have the top priority? The fact that you said we're committed as romantic partners. What's high? Nothing's higher than that. Does the Supreme Judge have to be said? Well, you're in the Supreme Court. They know once it says you are judging the Supreme Court, you're in the highest court. You can go. They don't need nobody to remind them of that. So maybe when you look at it, you got to stop. That's a red flag. You got to start dealing with equals.
Yeah, and once you cater to a person's insecurity, you're gonna continue to cater to their insecurity. It's just gonna be, and it's gonna be never ending. It's just gonna continue on. It's like you're working for them.
Not only that, when you do it, you best believe that the person you just catered to lost respect for you as soon as you did it. As soon as you did it, you drop down a notch in the respect factor. Believe that.
Yeah, because they know that they could control you with their feelings.
Yeah. Let me say this, guys. I don't know if this fits in our conversation. I believe it does, but my daughter does. Not that y'all will call me a liar, but my ex-wife and I and my whole family here, we are all friends. My wife has made plans with my ex-wife as far as parties are concerned, as far as the kids are concerned, my surprise birthday parties. So I'm secure about that. It's I love my wife, and and I've said it before, and I said it today, but it's a joy to see that. To me, it's a joy to see that.
Definitely.
I can walk in a room and I hear surprise, and my wife is standing there, and my ex-wife is standing that same room.
So that's the biggest thing. That's the moral of the story. Like, we need to start looking at what health is. We have to start looking at not having low self-esteem. What does confidence mean?
Yeah.
Confidence means that I'm self-aware. I have a great understanding of where I am. And this person committed to me, and I have an understanding that they're committed to me. There's going to be other people that are in their lives, and I'm an extension of those people. Every time you connect to another person, you're an extension of the people they're connected to.
Yeah, to make that situation, their circle complete.
Definitely. So you got to understand, like, what we wanted to really get home, we really wanted to say is, you got to always know who you are in the room.
Yeah,
you know
I said it.
And I know you said it, but we didn't really touch on it as much. Because the conversation just went somewhere else. But the point is, like, I go to a gym, right? If I'm in the gym with NBA players, I'm on the side, I'm watching.
Yeah.
I know who I am in the room. Now I'm like, yo, y'all not passed me the ball, or y'all didn't let me play. I'm controlling the whole gym because I'm not talented enough. When are you self-aware? Self-awareness is knowing who you are in every room that you walk in. If I wanted to have the ball all the time, I'm gonna go to the local Y with a bunch of scrubs that I'm better than, that can pass me the ball a bunch of times.
I feel that.
That's the difference. I know exactly who I am in the room.
Yeah, that is a good analogy.
And everybody is looking to be validated by their relationship. Yeah. You come in your relationships already solidified. That's why you earned your relationships. You can't look for nothing better than what you are. You're just becoming a better version because you're piecing together all the things that come together. Low self-esteem will destroy your relationship. And if you cater to it, it manifests in your relationship, and then it becomes an unhealthy relationship.
Yeah, we don't negotiate with terrorists.
So understand, when you relate, let's go back drastic. When you relate, I'm straightforward, absent of pretense. I'm genuine. I'm going to be who I am at all times. I'm not going to sit here and look for other ways to get you, because you have to know who I am like I have to know who you are. Yep. And yeah, there are different people, but everybody's not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So if I got to change what I deem great, we're not talking about my insecurities. Anybody that pushes me to come outside my insecurities, they're in my best interest. They're making me a better person. But anybody that's trying to strip me of my greatest attributes, they're not going to be in my life. Understand that. And one of my greatest attributes is that I'm direct. I watch a lot of people that I am straightforward. I watch a lot of people have a lot of stress because they can't do it. And they criticize me because I can't. You don't care how other people going to view you? Of course I care how some people may view me. But not everybody.
But not enough, but not enough not to say what you need to say.
Definitely. But what I'm saying is I'm not a person that runs around, which I wanted to address in the top of this, but I'm not a person that runs around rebellious for the sake of being rebellious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what people think. That's a lie. We all care what people think, and the whole point is to find people that you care what they think. That's the whole point of life. Because if you don't care what they think, they can't influence you. If they can't influence you, they can't change bad behavior. If they can't change bad behavior, they're gonna put you in a lot of situations that you don't need to be in. So we all got to be clear on what low self-esteem is. It's the weakest part of who we are.
Yeah.
And we enter relationships because that person covers our blind spot. Like I said before in another talk. Like, you have to have people that cover your blind spot. You don't need the same person that's seeing what you see. You need people who cover your blind spot. That's what makes y'all powerful. Hear what I'm saying?
That's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, brother. Thanks. But
before we head out, whoever didn't share, take the time to share, because again, this was another great discussion that if we get it circulating, a lot of other people could learn from this and, you know, have some things to think about and take back to their relationships.
Real talk.
Definitely.
As I always say, I like what, you know what I'm saying, what the Love Snobs is doing, you know what I'm saying, what y'all doing with y'all brand, trying to bring awareness and help out equal and healthy relationships, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
yes.
These are definitely good conversations that need to be had, you know? Because like a lot of us don't know. I'm in that category too. You know what I'm saying, on how to build equal and healthy relationships. So you know what I'm saying, I feel fortunate and blessed that we having these conversations. You know what I'm saying? So that we can raise that awareness and come to a greater understanding.
I'm gonna piggyback.
We're always glad to have you guys.
I've
always
so
say,
much since March, and I appreciate it. I really do.
I'm sorry.
Thank you guys.
A little prayer. I need some prayer. I'll be gone for a month.
A month? Okay, Joe. We'll pray for you.
Got it. You and our thought. I mean, I'm glad you was able to make it, man. We missed you.
Yeah, we did miss you last week.
I had to push myself. I really did. It means a lot.
It means a lot to us that you pushed yourself, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, and I'll see you guys in 4 weeks. You know, when I'll text y'all and keep y'all informed. Drastic.
All right, we'll definitely reach out to you, and you can catch the reruns on our Facebook page, at Lovers Group Journey, so you can still check them out and make comments whenever you feel up to it. But we'll definitely check in on you within the month.
Thank you. You guys be good.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Take care.
All right, guys.
All right, bye, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good one. Next week. We'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, see you on Monday.
Okay. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.